Hello, and this is actually going to be a 200 kick drill, or my version of a 200 kick uh, workout. As I start off, I'm actually doing oblique kicks. Here, I'm actually aiming to hit the kneecaps of an assailant. If not the kneecaps, if I can't reach those, I'm trying to hit the shin. Uh, Actually targeting their shin or their kneecaps using the uh, foot, the ball of my foot, if not the heel, like so, actually trying to render their mobility and making them handicapped even for a split second. Next I do is the low roundhouse. Uh, Same target, but on a different portion, where I actually try to aim at the side of their knee, if not at the side of their thigh or the side of their shin. Now, if I can't reach those, that's okay. I go back to my normal fighting stance. That's the reason why I do these follow through instead of actually just kicking and stopping to the where the target is. As you can see, I do my full follow through, like I'm doing a full circle. That way, I'm actually trying to kick through my assailant instead of just stopping on the said target, like so. Okay, so after the low roundhouse, I now go to my teep or the front kick. Now, this one, it depends on the martial art that you're practicing under. If you're practicing Muay Thai, you're going to do the teep. But if you're practicing other martial art styles, you're actually going to just do a front kick, whether it's a snap or a push, that like what I'm doing. I'm basically trying to aim the diaphragm or the stomach area of my assailant here, like so. It's more like a keep away move. You can actually do a front kick higher, but it's going to be very similar to what a an axe kick is when it comes to height, in terms of height. So each kick that I do in these 200 kicks drill or workout is 10 kicks per leg. So meaning if I actually do 10 kicks on my right, I actually do 10 kicks on my left. So as I take a small breather here, sip of water, I now go to my normal roundhouse. Try to shadow box, trying to imagine my assailant. The normal roundhouse that I'm doing is the Muay Thai version. It's the reason why I'm actually doing the follow through. Again, depending on the martial art system that you practice under or are practicing right now, or have learned or mastered, your roundhouse kick would be entirely different from mine. I chose mine to do the Muay Thai version so that I can actually practice myself in following through my kicks instead of stopping at where my target is. It is also much more fluid once I actually do follow throughs with my kicks. That way, it actually lessens injury to my ligaments, my joints, and my muscles. You'll also see me do some adjustments here and there, especially when I actually know that my form isn't good when I actually throw the technique, as you have seen there a few seconds ago. So after the normal roundhouse, which is kicking across the midsection of my assailant, I'm now preparing to do the back kick. Again, doing the back kick, same like the front kick or the teep. I'm trying to aim the diaphragm or the stomach area of my assailant as I turn my back. Usually the back kicks are good after you throw a hook from your opposite hand. So let's say you try to throw a left hook, like what I'm doing here. So after missing a left hook, for example, I turn and then I do my right back kick. Same deal here, as I now do my left. If I throw my right hook, I'm actually in a very perfect position to do my right back kick. Again, I'm doing these kicks, 10 kicks per leg. So if I do 10 kicks on my right, I actually also do 10 kicks on my left. And in doing so, it actually builds up stamina, not only for the lungs, but also for the leg muscles as well. I take a breather here. I'm really tired at this point. And if I'm not mistaken, we have done around 100 kicks so far. Now I'm actually trying to aim for the head. So I'm doing a roundhouse, a high roundhouse to the head, trying to see the flexibility of my muscles, most especially my hamstrings, while not trying to overextend myself in doing a high roundhouse. Oftentimes, when people try to kick high, they actually overextend themselves and they either lose their form when doing the high kicks, like a high roundhouse, or they would actually injure themselves by overstretching their muscles, their leg muscles. That's one of the reasons why you will see often that when people kick high and they haven't warmed up yet, that they would actually tear either their hamstrings or their glutes or even their quads at times because they're trying really hard to forcefully reach the height. Here, I actually wasn't happy with my last left roundhouse, so I actually did another one. So it's technically 11, but I didn't count the last one. So now we go to the sidekick, like so. Now with this one, I'm trying to be as snappy with my sidekick as possible. It's not like the sidekick that Bruce Lee does, but it is the sidekick that, if you're familiar with UFC or MMA matches, the sidekick that Kong Lee is famously doing. It's very snappy. It's almost non-telegraphic, meaning it actually is very short in wind-up. Like so, it's as if I'm trying to hide my sidekick by pretending that I'm doing a front kick or a T. Again, 10 of these. As you see, I'm actually doing a follow through. At times, I will actually stop at my position after I do my sidekick, mixing some shadow kicking in there. Now we go on to the hook kick. The hook kick is primarily aimed at the head, particularly at the back of your assailant's head. So if your assailant is a very good defender, they'll block their face or sometimes the side of their head, their cheeks, and the temples. And so if you can't hit those, they can't actually, and you saw that they're not covering the back of their head. That's what this kick is for. This is primarily seen in Taekwondo matches, sometimes in karate matches as well. But it's really, really hard to pull off, especially in the tournaments, and especially when you're actually very full of adrenaline. Because your opponent's senses are heightened, they're actually reading your moves, and you're trying to bait them into different kinds of techniques. And so the hook kick is actually a very good arsenal in your pocket when trying to hit your opponent. As you can see, it actually needs a certain amount of flexibility since you're actually aiming not only the front of the head, but the back of the head. it's also very taxing, as you can imagine. Okay, got one more here. Here we go. Taking a breather. So after the hook kicks, we're now going to do the X kicks, as I was demonstrating with my arm here. Just giving myself some sort of visual before I actually do my X kick. As you can see. To do all of these kicks with height, you really need to do proper warm-ups with your legs, as well as your heart, as I actually do my last stomp there, so that you'll be able to kick not only the head, but also reach leg height to a certain extent where your assailant will freeze in a split second, so that you'll be able to do or deliver a powerful strike to them. And an axe kick is an example of that, as I showed that with my left side. Here I'm actually trying to count how many kicks I've done already. Basing on what we actually did 180 kicks so far. So we're actually going to do the last 20 here. And the last 20 kicks that we're going to do are the low-high roundhouses, or what's famously known as the question mark kick. And the reason why it's called a question mark is because you're trying to write a question mark with a dot and then a hook at the bottom. It's basically a faint low roundhouse into a high roundhouse, like so. In your rendition of a 200 kick drill or 200 kick training, you can choose any of the kicks that you can do, primarily focusing on doing 10 versions of them or 10 kicks of them per version. I just chose these specific kicks to do, basing on what I wanted to focus to do. As we do a few reps here. You can see that I'm really tired.